Well, my name is Andy Fry, and I'm a professor here at the University of Kansas, and I'm also the director of the Jayhawk Athletic Performance Laboratory, which is part of the WUSI Human Performance Alliance. With my role as director of this lab, I teach a smaller load, but right now I'm teaching one of my favorite classes, which is the undergraduate kinesiology class, which we spend time in the classroom, but we also spend time coming in the lab and actually doing what we talk about in the classroom. We are the University of Kansas, and we have a long history of working with basketball and studying the sport of basketball. And our associate director, Dr. Dmitry Chabarkaba, is actually the one that oversees that line of research. He's currently in Europe right now collecting data on basketball. So that includes our regular 5-on-5 basketball that everyone's familiar with. That includes 3-on-3 basketball, which will be a new Olympic sport. We have had the opportunity to study and test everything from professional basketball players, national team members, different developmental ages, basketball players at various colleges and universities, to try to get a better understanding of what is proper basketball technique and what is some of the types of training that can make you a better basketball player. So that's a big one. Well, I've been here since 2007, and that's when my wife, Dr. Mary Fry, the other Dr. Fry, she and I were hired, and she runs our sport and exercise psychology laboratory. And I came to be department chair, which I was for a while, and then I missed the research side of things too much, and so I came back to becoming just a general faculty member, and that's allowed me to expand our research agenda and expand our lab to what it is today. We were in a good situation professionally before coming here, both my wife and myself. We were both at the University of Memphis. It was great professionally. We were able to do a lot of things we liked, but I can say the truth is we thought if we ever left, what would we be looking for? And we said, well, we'd like to go to a real strong research institution, one that had a doctoral program in our fields, one that was at in a college town where you really had the college atmosphere and school spirit, one where maybe we were further away from the city. We could be in not an urban area, but we didn't want to be too far away from an urban area. And you can just go down the checklist. So when this opportunity came up here at Kansas, it's like, check, check, check. You know, let's look into this. And the stars lined up for us, and we ended up coming here, and it's a move we've never regretted. Well, there's a number of things. One is I thoroughly enjoy my job. And, you know, like any job, you have great days, you have days that are challenging. But whether I'm actually in the lab and actively collecting data, whether I'm working with our grad students and undergrad students on our projects, whether I'm in the classroom teaching, the ability to see where everything is moving in the same direction, to understand human performance, and in the case of our lab, to understand high-level performance, elite performance. Most people will never become elite, but how does anybody move to reach their potential? And that's exciting, because that's something that I know we will not answer all the questions, but we can move the needle forward in a positive direction, and that's exciting. Doing something for a job that you love. I think being able to be in, I guess, the knowledge business. And that's what universities and colleges and people in education, it's what it's all about. Teaching, knowledge, information, but it's more than just a list of knowing facts. It's also understanding and being able to figure out how things work together. And that applies to really anybody in whatever profession you're in, to be able to add just a piece to the bigger picture. We work in sports, but that can apply to an awful lot of different settings. And we certainly recognize that the area of knowledge required is huge, but the fact that we feel that we can make just a little dent in that and add a little bit, and it's exciting it's stimulating to the mind, keeps you fresh, and being around students is very invigorating because everyone's here to learn, to grow, to think, and to be part of that process. It keeps us as faculty on our toes and makes it really exciting. So my undergraduate degree was north of here, about 4 hours in Lincoln, Nebraska. I went to Nebraska Wesleyan University, and I majored in physical education, and I really thought I was going to work in the YMCA system. I was very familiar with the worldwide network of YMCAs, and I had worked for a while when I was younger at a YMCA. As it turned out, I got into the private fitness industry, and for a number of years I owned and operated a fitness center. And then at some point I moved on and I got my master's degree at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln in exercise science. And at that time I also was able to get a job working at the headquarters of the National Strength and Conditioning Association, which I've been very active in through my career, but at the time I worked at their national headquarters, which was a tremendous learning experience as well. And through my connections there, I knew I wanted to further my training, get my doctoral work. And at the time, it's a pretty short list of people who were doing research in the areas I was interested in. So I went to work with my mentor, Dr. William Kramer, and ended up getting my PhD at Penn State University. And before I entered the academic workforce, I did 2 years of postdoctoral training at Ohio University, working with a gentleman named Bob Starren, who I learned an awful lot about muscle physiology from. So that's the path I took to get to where I am today. Outside of work, you know, part of my passion, a big part of my passion is our children. So my son, Jared, he plays minor league baseball in the summers. During his off season, he coaches college baseball. I love going to catch his games, whether he's coaching or playing. And if you visit our house, we have a batting cage. We actually have a baseball field on our property, and so that's been fun growing up and seeing where that's gone and where his passion has led to a career. Our daughter is in theater, and she actually is a full-time actor and works for a theater company up in Wisconsin. So we love to go see her on the stage, and so every few months it's a new production somewhere, and it's always something really different. So that is very fun and satisfying. And both of them are in the performance field. One's on stage, one's on a sports field, but performance can come in a lot of different ways. So it's kind of an extension. We study it at work, we go home, and we get to enjoy our family performing. A lot of people may know this, but this is related to my job and my work. I have spent a lot of time studying resistance exercise, the world of strength and conditioning. And it's one thing to study it in the classroom. It's good to read the textbooks. It's good to read the research. It's another thing to actually have been in the trenches. If I have some insight on how to coach someone, I should have actually been a coach. And so I've had the opportunity to coach people at the national level and work everything from beginners to high-level athletes. But I've also been on the competition stage, whether it's in the world of powerlifting or the world of weightlifting or bodybuilding or sport-related activities. That's actually experiencing that you can't learn from a textbook or in a classroom. And that's a piece that I think is sometimes missing. I can't say I was exceptional at any of those activities, but actually experiencing it, I I can say I've been out there and I've done it and attempted to do well. And so that also has fed a lot of my interest. I don't know if that's a new fact for many, but that's a piece that I also think is important for students to hear.